everybody, welcome back to our review. Basically just us geeking out about, what we think about the movie. And the movie we just saw is Hell or High Water. Chris Pine, Ben Foster, Jeff Bridges, awesomeness. So this is gonna be...
Mexican Indian dude.
Yeah, that's how people get their start. We'll get to that in a second. First, let's go ahead and let you guys know this is going to be our all the spoilers video. We're going to talk all the spoilers we want. We're probably going to spoil everything in this movie. So if you don't want spoilers, this is your warning. There is a link in the description below. There's also a link in the description below. You can click on to see our no spoilers video, or something's popping up right about now. Just so you can click on that. And then when you're ready for spoilers, you can come on back and geek out with us about this movie, because it is geek out worthy. So this is your warning. Spoilers, 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 spoilers. Cool? Okay, you gone? Alright, so, when the giant robot shows up at the end... And
he kills the dog?
Yeah, and kills the dog. But, that dog was just shooting everybody with the minigun, so I don't obviously none of that happens in this movie. It's a pretty straightforward movie. I mean, there's some twists and turns, but... we really, really liked it. We'll try to run through just a brief summation of what we said in the spoilers video, which is what I like about this movie is there's nothing like really new or different to it. It's just incredibly well done on every level. Mm-hmm. Great story, great pacing, great cinematography, sound design, every single actor, every single character, even the bit parts. Like, we love the bit parts.
Especially, I love the waitress.
Yeah, the waitress with the $200. Oh my God, especially, that whole thing about when they wanted the $200 for evidence, and she's like, no. You can get your warrant, and you can get a court order, and you can come take that money that I'm going to use to put a roof over my daughter's head. I was just like, oh, fuck yeah. And even like the old dudes at the diner, and they were just laughing at Jeff Bridges when he was talking to the waitress, and she was giving him all that shit, and they're just giggling about it like, son, you don't know where you are.
Because nobody's on the bank's side.
No. And that is what is cool about this movie. So, like I said, it's kind of a mystery in the first half of the movie, because you just jump right in, and these guys they start their bank robberies, and you're kind of learning the brothers right off the bat. And through about to the middle of the movie, you're not even sure what they're why they're robbing the banks. Why they're robbing banks, yes. And it's actually pretty cool, because the whole thing is, this bank was trying to screw them out of the land that he owned, that they had to do a mortgage thing on, because everybody found out there was oil. Okay. Yeah, you'd be better. So, what was this movie about, Mary?
So, Chris Pine's mom had done one of those reverse mortgages, which always seems sketchy as hell to me. And when she died, of course, the bank's going well, it's our property now, unless you can give us this much money, which included, back taxes and all that fun stuff. So in order for them and he wasn't even going to keep the property for himself. He's going to put it in trust for his kids. Right. And do it in such a way that if, he went down for doing all the bank robberies, his kids are going to be free and clear and still have the homestead. Yep. With all the oil. Right, yeah. And not be poor like him and his parents and their parents and the parents of Earth. Which in some ways this is a nice treatise on the nature of long-term poverty. I mean, in, large settings. I mean, you have your ghost sections of town versus all these small towns, where everybody's poor.
And they definitely touch on that in there, because again, that's one of the beautiful, they kind of show the decline of these towns in a very beautiful way through the cinematography, but kind of the ghostly loneliness and the rundownness, if you will, of everything. Signs for payday, cash loans, all that kind of stuff. Houses for sale. Right. Yeah. So and then they even get. Oh my God! They get to the one with the one town with the bank they don't actually end up robbing, because they didn't know that the ranger was sitting across the street, and they were having the T-bone steaks with the lady. The waitress was killing us though. It's like, what don't you want? And they're like, excuse me. And basically the whole thing is they only serve T-bones with potatoes or corn and green beans. And it's like, you either don't want the corn or you don't want the green beans.
And the two guys are just going,
We don't want the green beans. Yeah, I don't want the green beans either. And then she's like, all right, 2 T-bones, medium rare. Can I have my son?
She's just kind of terrifying.
Yeah, she was, but in a totally believable way. So I just thought that was great. But back to the first waitress and the tips, and the reason we were telling you the story was I love that, because like you said, nobody was on the bank side. And I think that's what was brilliant. And again, that's why they were getting some help from other people, was that they loved this idea that they were stealing from the bank that was trying to steal from them, and then using that bank to basically pay for their land. And so this whole, I just thought that was pretty brilliant. Of course it does all go awry.
Yeah.
In kind of shocking fashion, because really you are kind of on this, it really is kind of almost like a lovable thing, and everybody stays fairly lovable.
Yeah.
Even the ones that go furthest off the deep end, you still kind of care about.
Yeah, it's like you want to cheer for everybody.
Yeah, you really do. It's hard to be on anybody's side.
It's like, but as much as you love the Rangers, you're like, I really don't want you to catch them.
Right, because
I love you guys, but I don't want you to win.
Yeah, because up until the last robbery,
I don't want you to lose either.
Right.
And well,
yeah, and we'll definitely be getting into that, but yeah, we'll get to that last robbery in a bit, but there's some just great stuff too, like when they go to the casino.
Oh, my favorite line in the movie.
Oh my God, is it going to be the same one that's mine? Let's see. Maybe not. There's a few great lines, like absolute great lines. What's yours?
It's the ones going like, it's like, what does Comanche mean? Lord of the Flames?
Okay.
And things. It's like, enemy to everyone. It's like, who else? Everyone. It's like, you know what that makes me? Comanche.
Yeah, that was a really good one. That was the Ben Foster brother too.
Yeah.
No, mine was also from the Ben Foster brother, and it was like a throwaway, possibly 80-yard line. But they stop at a gas station, and well, first the whole scene is fucking awesome because like Ben Foster's in the driver's seat and he's just kind of laid back. His eyes may be closed, I don't know. And Chris Pine has gone inside to buy some Dr. Pepper and some cigarettes for him. And then like these kids and like their tricked out car pull up with their radio blasting, and the driver's all like, what are you looking at? And he starts picking a fight, and Ben Foster's like, you don't want to start with me, son. You'll feel like there's 10 of me. And then so the kid like pulls out his guns, like flashing his gun, and you don't even see it. Like Chris Pine comes from like off screen and just beats the hell out of this kid. And of course, and then like the earlier robbery, there's like an old man with these quarters, and he's charming, and they're like, you have a gun on you? He's like, of course I got a gun on me. So Chris Pine takes the gun and sets it beside him on the counter. And so as they're leaving, he just grabs
we're robbing the bank, not you.
Right, yeah. But then as they're leaving, the guy grabs his gun, is like, oh hell no. And he goes and he's shooting at him. So of course Ben Foster gives Chris Pine all that crap.
Which actually did more damage to the bank than
Yeah, that's true. But then I love that Chris Pine was getting all that crap about why did you leave the gun on the counter? So then going back to what I was just saying about beating the hell out of that guy, and he picks up the gun and throws it, and Ben Foster's like, oh, you finally remembered the gun.
Although it's an interesting comment on the whole gun thing, because the Texas, they figure a well-armed society is a polite society. The thing is though, if when they robbed that bank at the end.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that. I figure it.
Okay.
No, I'm almost there. I
was hurry up.
Well, we were doing our favorite lines, and I was setting up my favorite line.
No, I'm doing the same stranger of thought thing that you do.
I know.
Yell at me.
I'm not yelling at you. Welcome to the unedited review videos, guys. That's the one thing with the new camera. But no, anyways, I was going to say, the whole thing is he went in, he was supposed to get him Dr. Pepper, and he got him Mr. Pibb. And as they're driving away after beating up that kid, Ben Foster's like, only assholes drink Mr. Pibb.
Drink up, asshole.
Yeah, so I just thought that, like, their chemistry was really, really great. Really believable as brothers, but also just really charming chemistry. So then, and then let's talk about the Ranger and his partner a little bit. Then we'll kind of get into everything that's going on at the
old
end.
Married couple.
Yeah, the racist old married couple. Well, one side is racist. Because basically the partner is half Indian and half Mexican. So there's a great line too about he keeps Jeff Bridges keeps giving him shit and picking on him for making fun of him for being Indian, and then he's like, I'm half Mexican too. So Jeff Bridges is like, oh, I got plenty of insults for that, but I'm gonna get through all my Indian insults first. heist. You know, I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but I just thought that was really cute. And he's just on him the whole time through the whole movie. And yeah, just giving him shit left and right. So they were really enjoyable as a partner couple. Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say? Partners. Yeah, they're partners.
Meanwhile, you know, his partners giving Jeff Bridges shit about it's like, you know, you're just dragging this case out because you don't want to be retired.
Right, yeah. It's like, I only got 2 days left. No, there's none of that. I'm getting too old for this shit. That guy did not want to leave his job. I have that feeling he was probably being kind of forced out of age. Mm-hmm. But man, he played it so well. And that's the thing, is you love the brothers, you love the two rangers. Mm-hmm. And then we get to where they were staking out the one of 2 banks that were basically left. They were staking out the wrong bank. Because even though the brothers were going to that bank, suddenly they realized because this other bank had been closed down, to get the money they needed in time, they had to go hit this other bank they weren't planning on, this bigger bank. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy because from outside, there's like no one in the parking lot. It looks pretty clear. But apparently it was payday. And that bank had like 20, 30, 40 people in it, man. It was loaded. And of course, they didn't see the security guard. They didn't see the concealed carry guy sneaking out his gun. They didn't see the lady texting all the other Texans about the bank robbery, who showed up waiting outside armed and planning on not letting those guys get out. And yeah, shit went crazy. Now, Ben Foster, who had been in prison and already been through bank robberies and all that stuff, he shoots down the security guard. The guy, and then like the guy with the concealed carry just shooting everywhere, and Chris Pine just shooting everywhere. I'm surprised not a lot of other people got shot. But then, like in a realistic and shocking fashion, Ben Foster goes over and just gets his gun to the guy's head, and boom, out come his brains. Yeah. And you know,
of course, you know.
So you know that's what it's like. Oh, fuck.
Security car hadn't opened fired. You know, there have been 0 casualties.
Right. Which I'm pretty sure they're not supposed to, but it's Texas. Small town.
Cars aren't supposed to explode like that either, but you know.
Well, that's like the one non-realistic thing, and we're getting to that too. So you know, so again, it all goes to hell. So they're running out the bank, and then all the other Texans are out there and start shooting at them, and they have to just drive the car without looking where they're going to get away. And then finally, they put some distance, but all those Texans were driving behind them, which is fucking awesome, but crazy at the same time.
Yeah, his brother has this total Scarface moment.
Yeah, he totally does. Like that AK-47, that comes into play. He had all these clips ready, and he just goes and he just starts laying fire out at all the trucks until they all turn around and retreat.
Doing the old spray and pray.
Yep. And so then that pretty much gets us to almost the end of the movie, where it starts really getting kind of sad, but the way a great movie like this should. So basically the brothers split up because Ben Foster realizes he's got to make the distraction or the whole plan fails. So he's basically going to sacrifice himself for Chris Pine to let his thing work. And he goes up a ridge, and then what she was just saying, pretty much pretty much the only unrealistic thing, he takes a big gas can and sticks the cloth in it, lights it up, and he goes up a hill, and he jumps out of the truck and lets it roll back down into the police car. But as soon as he hits the police car, boom, big Hollywood explosion.
I was saying, that's a couple of gas barrels right there.
Yeah, and honestly too, that's the one thing that was over the top. But I don't know, it didn't bother me. I mean, I noticed it, but I wasn't like, oh, now you've lost me, movie. It didn't ruin anything for me, but that was cool.
But yeah, God. I'm sorry. It's this is when we start losing people. And
in the movie,
and it's like
because he gets up on the ridge, and Jeff Bridges' partner gets sniped right through the eye, and Jeff Bridges, I love his performance in that moment too, because he started for half a second to just lose it and break down. But in that split second, I'll pull his shit back together too, and turn that into anger and wanting vengeance. And then there's even a pretty gruesome shot there when they move the body and you see the dude's brains left in his hat. And that was again, I've seen a lot of movies like that. Generally that stuff doesn't disturb me, but what's good about movies like this is because it's not say a Hostel where there's gore. Yeah. This has been character, and then you see a character lost in a very realistic way, and it's more effective in that fashion. And I hated to see that. Yeah. But he's Ben Foster's just up there sniping people. And the citizen Texans show up, and Jeff Bridges goes over there and gets one of them to take him around because they know the land. Yeah. And he goes up there, and he snipes Ben Foster,
Yeah.
and again you're torn because you're like you didn't want them to, but he killed the partner, and like it's like
It's karma.
It's almost
pretty much.
Yeah, and it's like in a more extreme way. It's almost like when like you're really great, like some of your best friends are a couple that have been together forever, and then they split up or something. It's kind of like that. Like you love them both, and you don't, I don't know. It's just.
The thing is, I think Ben Foster's character, that's probably how he would have wanted to go anyways.
I think so,
the situation that he had put himself. He knew he was not going to get out of that situation alive because he may pick some people off, but he's going to run out of ammo eventually.
Yeah, that's true. And he knew he was helping his brother and all that, and the family, so.
But just an interesting choice for the movie. All the deaths, all 4 of them, fast.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's like, so there's no lingering last
No
death,
bleeding out.
No bleeding out, no final speeches.
Yeah,
it's
tell
just,
mama I love her kind of thing, none of that.
Yeah, it's bam, you're gone.
Yeah. You kind of got that speech from Chris Pine to his son before, like, the big last day, and I love that moment, too. He brings his son a beer. He's, like, kind of estranged with his family. And then he goes through the whole thing with his son, like, you're going to hear all this stuff about me. No, do believe it. It is true. Just don't be like me. Make different choices. And he's like, are you going to drink that beer? And the son's like, well, you tell me not to be like you, and then you give me a beer. What do you want from me? That's really cool.
This does taste like shite.
Yeah. Well, it didn't happen in the movie.
No.
But yeah, so that was really cool. One other thing I mentioned in the no spoilers I did want to talk about, what I was joking about, there's this moment when it almost felt like this other movie crossed paths with this movie.
The diner scene?
No, it's the ranch, the herd.
Oh.
The herd crossing the field, crossing the road and slowing down the troopers, and at the fires in the field. Like, that had no bearing on the story really whatsoever.
Yeah.
But it didn't distract from the story.
It informed the story.
Yeah, it definitely did. It helped with the setting, and giving you more of the feel of that world they're in.
Because basically what you see throughout this movie is people in all different types of life just basically scrambling to get by.
Yeah.
You have the waitress who's probably working at the diner, 12 hours a day. You have these cowhands who, their fucking fields are on fire. And they're trying to get their cattle out of the way across the river before, they lose everything.
Yeah.
And the Rangers are going like, should we call it in? And we're going like, who the fuck's going to be able to get out here to help them?
Right, yeah. Yeah, and I loved that. Like I said, it, like she said, it's informing the world, even though it, like, there's a theory in editing, like if it doesn't advance the plot, then it doesn't need to be in the movie. And so I think a lot of editors would have been like, just taking that out. But I do think that, like you said, it really added an awesome layer. Just this, like, it's like a 30-second, 60-second scene. I mean, it's just brief, but I really like that. And again, it's almost like I said, I was joking about it being, it could be like 2 movies intersecting. Like, next week we're going to go see the movie about the cattle ranchers and, Because I kind of wanted to see where that's...
comedians that could have been city slickers
passing
through.
Well, no, I want a movie in this tone of what happens with those guys. Because I'd like to see how that fire stuff started. I'd like to see how they, get past it. Just, I don't know, I could be fascinated by that movie as well. And the reason I bring all that up is, again, I want to harp on the fact that every single actor, performer, bit part in this movie is just wonderful. Like, you like everybody. There's not a bad note hit in this movie. The closest thing to a bad note is that too big of an explosion, and everything else is pretty pitch perfect. So I can see why the reviews are so stellar for this, and I'm really glad we got to see it. And, I'm glad we get a review for you guys. And, so I really dug it. I don't know, I think we covered pretty much everything. Is there anything else you wanted to geek out about? Any big moments that I totally missed?
No, I think we've covered just about everything.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. All right, well, let's that's what we thought about Hell or High Water. What about you guys? What did you think? Have you seen it? Are you gonna see it? Are you excited? What was your favorite part? Who's your favorite characters? Do you kind of agree with what we're saying? Do you have a different take? It's cool. You can have a dissenting opinion as long as you're cool about it. You know my rule. I live by the Will Wheaton rule of don't be a dick.
I'm saying it like that.
Family Guy. It was a whole Family Guy thing, and it's just.
And I was doing the Brian thing.
I thought it was weird because, again, we're in the middle of the video, so like I didn't want to stop and but because I was like, I've done this forever and she's never asked me. I could have sworn she knew, but But anyways, so we were comment.
I'm trying to interact more.
I know.
Failing.
No, I'm failing because I'm not used to it. I guess it's because it's earlier at night than usual. She's not as sleepy. I wasn't prepared, but I love it because I love you. We'll keep this. We'll finish this now. Okay. So, anyways, comment. We totally went off the rails here.
Don't be a dick.
Yeah, don't be a dick. You can disagree. That was the point. Yeah, you can disagree. Just be cool about it. I don't think you would though, because this movie is awesome. Almost, yeah. See, this is weird. Anyways, so comment, we do the comment thing. It is spoilers. You can spoil away in these comments. You can also hit that thumbs up button. Give me the thumbs up of encouragement. It's always wonderful to be encouraged. Hit the subscribe button, because if you're new here, it's fun to subscribe. And we do all kinds of fun, nerdy, geeky things every single day on the Eric Butts channel. Share with your friends so we can all geek out, freak out, nerd out together, because we loves movies, we loves toys, we loves all kinds of stuff. Yeah, well, you know. We'll save that joke for another time.
Yes, we will.
And other than that, you can check the link to Patreon down below and, get more content, help the channel, help it grow, all that stuff, and that would be awesome. All right, guys, well, I think that about covers it, so we're going to get out of here, and I probably forgot, I should have mentioned this at the beginning. We shot on GoPro. I don't know how this works right now. If there's problems, we'll get it fixed by next time. If you're still watching. Hello? Anybody there? Okay, anyway.
You're still there, sweetie.
I am probably, but anyways, I guess we're going to get out of here, and we will see you guys later.